And as I promised, I will take you from a complete beginners to complete advanced level. So we are going to cover some important topics. First, we are going to do JavaScript basics. Then we are going to do JavaScript DOM. Then we are going to do async JavaScript, and then ES6. So I think this four thing will take 4 days, and on the fifth day we'll do some projects. So that is the plan to do. And if I'm not going to able to do projects, so see, I don't plan that these things that much in advance, means how much I can do. But the thing is that I take from 1 to 1.5 hours, but all the main topics will be completed, the theoretical topics, all of them. If I'm not able to do project, I can guide you to the YouTube videos in which the projects are there. Okay, so wait a sec, let me share my screen. Wait, what is asking me to? Okay, it's strange. A sec. Strange thing is happening today in this live stream. It's trying to share my whole screen. Okay. Wait a sec, I have some issues, technical issues. Okay, no problem. Yeah, I got it. So they have changed the option in my. I use something known as REST stream. So they have changed that option. Okay, they initially used to show screen one and screen two. So sorry for that. Okay, so you're able to see my screen, and this is like this. So we are going to learn JavaScript through thing, means you all have yeah, good evening. And one more thing. Okay, let me tell that thing in the head only. So this is a 5-day course. Okay, so there I am going to give the participation certificate, but only to people who have participated in all the 5 days. And this is a certification course also. After the 5 days, if you think that you need a course completion certificate, then you need to pay a small amount is there, and I will give you assignment, plus there will be some online test also. But that is a different thing. First attend everything and get a participation certificate, then if you want, you can get a course completion certificate also, in which I will test your knowledge. Okay, so let me also write this thing, because participation certificate only if you attend all 5 days and give attendance at the end. So those who have attended my CSS workshop, they know one thing, that I give a attendance form at the end of the class, 5-10 minutes before that, in this same chat I will give. Okay, in this same chat I'm going to give, and then what you need to do, you need to fill it. Okay, you need to fill the attendance form, and I will give the participation to the people. So previously in CSS, there were around 8 people who completed all 5 days. They completed. Okay, so this is there. So I will today also there will be 5 different Google forms. So the first Google form will be given at the end of today's class around 9:30. I will give it. Okay, so let's get started with our JavaScript journey. uh, okay, yeah, absolute beginner, that is very fine, Ashu. Good evening all. Okay, all of you are absolute beginners, that is fine, no problem, no issues. Okay, so what we are going to do, we are going to learn JavaScript first through a very good online platform known as JSBin. It is not a platform. It is like see what happens when you code in JavaScript. You generally have to see the console and all. So instead of doing in VS Code, in which I generally do, I am using this thing known as JSBin. It's an online editor. So nowadays you can edit the whole code. You can use this to add everything. Means you can do everything in this only. Means HTML, CSS, JavaScript console. So JavaScript is generally we see it in the console. Here, the console we see this thing, JavaScript generally. So we'll be able to see it here. Okay. So let's get started. And so this console only is showing here. It's been shown here, this console. So there are different things in which we are going to learn in JavaScript. The first thing is that the console.log only. Console.log is the way we give the console. So hello JavaScript, I will do and if I run it, I'll get hello JavaScript. Okay, so like this, hello JavaScript. So this is how console.log works, and we are going to use a lot console.log. I hope you are all able to see my screen. If not, let me, 150 is more than enough, I think 175. Okay, 150 is more than enough. If you are not able to see, you can tell me. Okay, it is not visible. Okay, so that is there. So there are there are different type to declare variable. So JavaScript is the first programming language I think I have which you are going to learn, because those are coming from HTML, CSS. This is the first programming language. HTML is not a programming language. HTML is just a templating thing. CSS is for styling, and JavaScript like a programming language like Java, C++. If anyone you have learned this thing, especially if you're coming from a engineering background, whether electronics, I'm talking about electronics engineering or computer engineering or IT engineering, you are going to have one programming subject. Means in electronics also you have C++, and then in computer science generally you have C++ or Java. So those things are there. So JavaScript is a lot different than those traditional programming language, and JavaScript is ruling the world, not those languages. They are means they were used to do something around 10 years back, but as we all know, engineering colleges are actually 10 years back. So we don't know, we learn Java or C nowadays, it's of no use. Means Java too much competition, and C anyways, C++ nobody uses. Okay, so that is there. So in those languages, I will compare a lot with those languages. In those languages, what used to happen, we used to have something like string, integer, str, int, float to declare some variable. So we declare variable in every programming language, but here we don't have something like this. Okay, so let me comment this out. So this is how we comment it out, backslash, and it will not appear. Okay, so the first thing which we are going to learn, there are 3 types of variables in JavaScript, and one is var. So JavaScript was invented in Java in 1995. So var is from the start of JavaScript. Okay, so var is from the start of name equal to Nabindu, let name equal to this was. So the second one is let, and the third one is full name equal to Bindu this was. So this is the third one. Okay, so one is var, one is let, and one is const. So let and const were recently introduced in JavaScript in 2015. There were some major addition in the language which are also known as ES6, which I am also going to teach, I think, in the 4th day, because it's a bit advanced concept. First you have to learn JavaScript, and then you all have to come to ES6. So console.log, and we are going to do again in a bit faster way, because again this is beginners JavaScript beginners to advanced course, but I have to move it in a bit faster, or else I will not be able to complete it in 5 days. Okay, so those who want a bit more bigger way, means explanation a bit longer way, they means they can attend my course, means it's a 1.5 month course and it's quite big, so there I can explain in a much better way. But here also I will promise you that I will explain in such a way that you will understand. Okay, so it is not like that my full course only you have to take. So see this, if name is Nabendu and name is Viswas, and so console.log we do like this only. Okay, console.log name and full name, and it is printing. And one more thing, check that this is a camel case. In JavaScript we generally do camel case. It is starting with full, and then if it is changing we don't give dash or something. And in Java and all we have Pascal case in which the f is capital, but here the f is not capital. This is known as camel case. Okay, so this is like this. And let and bar are almost same. There is a concept of block scoping and functional scoping, but I will not go that much detail into it. But the difference is that you should always try to use let nowadays. Var is a bit old, it has got some issues are there with var, so you should try to use let. And what is const is there. So const is for constant. So what we cannot do with const is like this. Okay, so let me show, like const num4 equal to like 34, and then num4 equal to 35. See one more thing, just now what I am doing. See here with the const only I have given a string, but here with const I am giving a number. It is quite possible in JavaScript but not in other language. Other language you have something like integer, string and all those things. Okay, so here we don't have those things. Okay, const, so it is a compiler. It is up to the compiler which checks what it is. The compiler checks whether it's a number. So if you're assigning a number, it will take the number. Okay, so console.log of num4. Okay, so let me comment this out, because I will always comment something out which is not required. So I have commented this out. So now this is there, and this will throw an error because it is not allowed for to change a const like this. So constant variable we cannot change it like this. Okay, so this is not allowed. But if I do a let here and do it, it will print. It will give me no error. So constant means constant. You cannot, once you assign a value, you cannot change it. Okay, so that is like this. Then we are going to learn about data types in JavaScript. So just like any other programming languages, we have data types in JavaScript. So there are data types, and there are 6 data types. Okay, one is string, second is number, third is boolean, null, undefined and symbol. So these are the different data types in JavaScript. So string, numbers, boolean, null, undefined. Okay, so these are there. So what is the difference between string, number, boolean are traditional type of data types which you will see in every other programming language. String is like in JavaScript, string is single quotes, double quotes, and there is special type which is in ES6 is this backtick. Backtick is also used. Okay, so numbers are like so with numbers what is happening, numbers floating, we don't have anything like a float, double, all those things. In JavaScript everything is in, everything you can give as a number. It is not like integer and float are different. Everything is a number. The compiler will understand. If you give a float, it will float. If you give a number, it will be a number. Boolean is like true and false. And null and undefined, again I think undefined is in other programming language also, but null is not there in other programming languages. So what is null and what is undefined? So null and undefined. So null and undefined means empty value. So empty value, both of them means empty value, means there is no value. But null is assigned by the user and undefined is assigned by the system. Both of them means empty value, means nothing. Just let me take an example of my kid school admission form. So kid school admission form is there. There is a column like middle name. So a lot of states, a lot of people don't give the kid a mid name. I have not given my kid a mid name, although I had a mid name, and that was not my father's name. In a lot of states it is necessary to give your father's name as a mid name, but not all states in India. Okay, so that is like that. So my kid doesn't have a mid name. So when I'm going to fill his school form, in the mid name I will either write any, not applicable, or I will put undefined. Any means I am the user, I am putting it as undefined, I am putting it as not applicable, means it is empty value. Or if I even leave it, the school clerk will know that it is not there. The school clerk will know this kid doesn't have a mid name, and they will enter in their system like this. So this is how in JavaScript it also works. So null means null and undefined means empty values, but null means that I am assigning it, and undefined means the system is assigning it. So let us see all this through example. And symbol is something which is related to ES6, a very advanced concept, and we generally don't use it. We are going to look into array. So it is a type of array only, but a bit advanced, and generally we don't use it. Okay, so that's why we're not going to look about this. So const name equal to a bindu. So like this is a string. So although I'm taking a const var let anything I can take, but it is a string. Okay, const age equal to 39, const rating equal to 9.5, const is trainer equal to true, and now the main thing, const x equal to null. I am assigning null, and let y I am going to do it will be undefined. So there is an operator through which we can see the data types. Means what are the data types? So we are going to see that console.log of type of name. So it will give me the data type age, rating, trainer, x, y. See, type of name, it is string, as I've told. Both of them, this 39 whole number, floating point, both of them number. True, false, it will give boolean. Type of y is undefined. Type of x should be null, but this is a bug in JavaScript. So type of null, it gives us object, but it is null only. So this is how we define. So this is all about the data types. Okay, so now we are going to look into the other thing, which is, so there are three major data types. Means one is a string, and these data types are known as the primitive data types also, and the other two, beside this we have two other data types. They are not primitive data types. So let us first learn a bit about string. Okay, so there are, we'll learn about string methods. Okay, so const str equal to hello JavaScript is there. Then so there are different string methods are there. Okay, console.log str.length is there. So it will give me the length of this string, which is 16. Then console.log str.to uppercase. So as the name suggests, so these are string methods which are given to us by the JavaScript language, which are given, and they are implemented in the browser itself. So the browser itself have implemented them. So JavaScript runs in the browser. The browser have to implement all these things. Okay, so whenever JavaScript is governed by the committee known as 𝐏𝐚𝐫𝐭𝐢𝐜𝐚 committee, but it is up to the browser if they implement it, or if they implement it or not. Okay, so if I run it, see hello, clear it, hello JavaScript. Okay, see everything is uppercase. So similar to that, I can make everything as lowercase. Clear it, run it, hello JavaScript, lowercase. Then there are some other good thing also, like str dot sub string 0, 7 is there. So if I do this, it will give me from 0 to 7, it will give me service string. Okay, then includes Java. So what is this includes run? This includes actually search if the Java is there or not in this string, and it is there, so it is giving me true. So these are some of the string methods. You don't need to means by heart anything about this, because you are going to get it from the internet whenever you want to use some string method. But this substring is very important, so you should know, okay, there is a string method to do everything to uppercase, there is string method to do everything to lowercase, there is a string method to change get the substring, get the length, there is string method to check whether Java is there, COBOL is there. So if I run this COBOL, it will give me false. But all the string methods are there. Is a very good documentation is there, that is string methods mdn. You will search string methods mdn, so it will give me string methods mdn. So all the string methods are here. But again, I'm telling, don't go through all of them, just have a brief thing. Okay, this string methods are there, so we can check it. Okay, and see this delete things are there, means they are not there anymore, they are not there anymore, this string matters. So as I've told, JavaScript is a evolving language. Okay, so what happens, some of the things are the ECMA committee release, but it is not liked by community, so they again delete it. So JavaScript is continuously evolving, especially from 2015. From 1995 till 2015 there was no changes in JavaScript, but from 2015 there are not changes in JavaScript, there are a lot of addition in JavaScript have been done. Means again they are planning to change something in 2020, something like that. So they are doing those things. Okay, so this is there, you can browse through them. So the next thing which we are going to do is the okay. So the next thing we are going to do is arrays. So arrays, as arrays are there, arrays are in all programming language. Okay, all the programming language have arrays. So arrays are a type of data structure to hold everything in a sequential order, so they have indexes. But JavaScript arrays are a bit different. Okay, so how they are different, let me tell. So const lang, suppose I have a lang array, it is like this: JavaScript, Java, C++, Go, lang, Kotlin, 5, true. So that is there. And so this is how arrays are there. But one thing, if you are coming from other background, some C, Java background, you can see that this is a mixed kind of array. This has got strings also, number also, and boolean also. It is not possible in any other programming language except JavaScript. Only in JavaScript this thing is possible. So you can have a mixed array, but in other programming language it is not possible. So that is there. But we can do a lot of things with this. First let me check where how to do console.log of lang. If I do, I will get this array, I will get this whole array. But again, arrays are indexed as start from 0 index, so this 0 1 2 3 like this. And if you want to access any element of an array, this is very important to able to access an element of an array. With it, do it by the index. Okay, so let me do that. Lang of 2, lang of 2 will give me not Java but C++, because it is 0 index, so it will give me C++. Okay, so now there are a lot of important things in an array, like this lang of if I want to add something in an array, so I can do it like this: 3 equal to C, and again I'll do a console this thing here. And if I do, so see, C was added as index 3, but this is not how we add in array. In array, most of the time we add to the end. We can add to the start also, there are methods for that, but I will tell the main thing which is there, so which is to adding to the end of the array. anything adding to the end of the array, and how to do that, and anything removing from the end of the array, how to do that. So we can remove something from the end of this array, like 5 and 2 I can remove because they seems like odd, everything is script, everything is string, and they are numbers and booleans, so I can remove it. Okay, so how I can remove it? I can remove it by lang dot pop. I'll do and time, and so 2 time lang dot pop. So what does this do? Does dot pop, it removes from the end of the array, it removes from the end of the array. So I'm doing it 2 times, so means 5 and 2 will be removed. So see, this is the third console dot log lang, and 5 and 2 are removed. So this is how. And if I want to add something to the start of the array, so how do we do that? So I'll do that by not from the start of the array, end of the array only I am going to add. So push and pop are very, means they're like push and pop. Okay, so like this, Pascal I'm going to do, and okay, so Pascal will be added to the end of the array. So this is the end of the array, adding to the end of the array, this is removing from the end of the array. Okay, so these two are there. Then we are going to learn about some array methods. Okay, array methods are actually very important, actually the most important type of methods. We have methods for string, array, and objects also, objects which are soon going to learn, but the most important methods are array method, and we are going to learn a bit more about them when we're going to do ES6 also. Okay, because they are very important. Okay, JSPen I'll do again, and like let me again have this array. This time I won't have those number. So first method is console.log array dot is array, and lang if I do, okay, it will give me true because it is an array. But the same thing if I do as, so this method is very important. This is to check whether something is an array or not, and this we are going to use a lot in the projects. Yeah, we are going to do a bit of very good projects when we are going to do the DOM tomorrow. We are going to do the DOM tomorrow, and we are going to do a quite so this is kind of a theory which we are learning today. Tomorrow we are going to learn sort of a practical, and we are going to use VS Code to do that, how JavaScript projects are really made with something known as DOM, JS DOM, how they are really made. Okay, so is array I'm going to do lang of maybe 1. Okay, lang of 1. So lang of 1 I can just actually, instead of this, okay, let me do one more thing, let me make it easier. I'll just pass Java, and it will give me false. So if you're passing a string, it is giving me false. Okay, so similar to array like this which we have here also, we can use the same thing. Okay, and str, instead of str, see internally strings are also array of, means index from 0. So whenever we have strings, like strings we have, it is start, you can treat it like 0 1 2 3 4. Okay, so lang dot include Java means in this array whether Java is there or not, it will check in this array whether COBOL is there or not. So this will give me true, and this will give me false because Java is there but COBOL is not there. So this is like that. Now this is about array. Now we will learn about objects. Objects, we are going to learn about them. So objects are a bit different than array. So array are this like index thing, and objects are actually known as a key value pair, and objects are very important in JavaScript. Okay, so const, so this much only details are, not much detail is there. Arrays are this only, means not teach a bit more theoretical. Once you start using arrays, you will come to know they are start from 0 index, as I've told there. They're starting from 0 index. For 0 I can do 0 1 2 3 like those I can do. So not I can tell much detail because anyways it's a 5 days course. So beyond that it will take a lot of a lot more time. Is maybe in my complete course I take JavaScript for maybe 2 weeks, but we are in a not in that much hurry. I will teach a lot of things, but yeah, a bit of hurry also. So f name is And if you want to learn more, you can means always search on my some videos are also there, or get in contact with me. I will tell more. Was okay. So fname is there. So what are objects? Objects are like it's a combination of a key value pair. Okay, key value pair. So age 59 and is developer is true. So again, objects here can have anything as a value. So objects are nothing but a unique key value pair. By unique key value pair, I am telling that the key should be always unique, but the value can be anything. So key is like fname. I cannot have the fname again. So this is key name. So I cannot have the name again. I cannot have the age again. I cannot have the is developer again. And the value can be anything. Like it is a string, number, boolean, all those things. It is there. Okay. So that is there. And one more thing, this thing, the key is also an string, but it is not required to give like this. It is not required. You can give it like without that also. And there is a format known as I'm not remembering the name, JSON format. Yeah, JSON objects, which this is also a string, but it is not required in a JavaScript object. So but it is treated as a string only. You can give only string in a key, not anything else. Okay, so how to get this means, so see the difference between array and object is that array the brackets are like the square brackets, and this is like curly brackets, and this is a like key value pair. In this colon is there, it's a key value pair. Okay, so if I do console.log person, and I have commented this out, so why is it not coming? Yeah, so it is coming now. So it will give me the object. So this object actually it's a bit of bug in JSWin, and you see the order doesn't matter. See, age came first, then fname is developer, and all this thing. I can check this here also, because it is showing this object is very ugly. So if I check it here, so it is mainly it will be shown like this, fname and all these things are there. So this is how objects are there. So how to access something from an object? So we have access something from the array with this notation, index notation. Okay, so index notation, we have access it 0 1 2 3, but this is the only way to access array. So objects, there are two way to objects are value of it. So value accessing is very important. From the key we have to access the value. Here there was no key or something, we are just accessing something. So this, you use this thing if you have something in a sequence you have to do, and use object if you have some key value pairs kind of a thing like this. I've taken a real example like a person I am giving, so I can do this. And here I am taking an array of languages. Okay, so person thought fname. So I think hope I have told enough of arrays also through object. So person dot fname, if I do, it will give me Nabendu. So this is one way. This is known as dot notation. So there is another notation which is known as bracket notation. So bracket notation, what happens to access to so these notations are to get the value. Okay, get the values. Okay, so yeah, JSON is written in double. They're known as JSON objects. So we'll learn more about them later on, maybe in React part, or when we do something like backend. Okay, this is like yeah. So when we do something from the backend, we generally get an array of objects in most of the cases. So those are always a JSON object. Yeah, it is double quotes, not a single quote. It's a double quotes. That's a very good thing. JSON placeholder. Yeah, the double quotes. Yeah, double quotes. It is double quote. So this is sort of a JSON objects which is we generally. So this is an endpoint. So that is way beyond today. But when you hit some API endpoints, so this is how the whole internet works. You get something like this. Oh, that is way beyond today's thing. Okay, so there is another way to access this. So I can do this like name like this to access it. This is known as bracket notation, so I can access this class will come like this. So what is the benefit of this bracket notation? So the benefit of this bracket notation is that suppose in some other format, maybe here only I will give it like this, okay, name, and instead of name I will give it last, and space also I'm giving, space also giving. So in the object notation I cannot use this thing, so but here if I give this, it is possible. So this is how it is done, okay. So those things are done. Now we are going to look into JS10. We are going to look into loops, which are there in all programming language, and it is there in JavaScript also. Loops are very important in every programming language. So every programming language have a traditional loop, which is known as traditional for loop, and it is exactly similar in JavaScript also. The traditional for loop, they have implemented it in exactly the same way, okay. So let us check that. For let I equal to 0, I is less than equal to 10, I plus plus, so like this I have, and console.log of loop number, and we generally access some variable by like this plus I can do I. So this is how we access a variable in a console log, and if I run it, it will give me the loop number. So this is how loop is done, and this is like that in any other programming language also, like C++, Java. But how it works, that is the main thing. How this does this work? This for loop seems like means how this loop has worked. So loop works only till the condition is true. So till this condition is true, it will work. But there is a way in which the for loop starts. So for loop always starts with from here. Let I equal to 0. So I have taken I equal to 0. This is known as initialization. So let I equal to 0 means there is a variable I. This is sort of a temporary variable which will be 0. Then it will come here, and 0 is less than equal to 10. It will do like this, okay. It will search like 0 is less than equal to 10. So this will give me either true or false. So 0 is actually less than equal to 10, so it is true. So it will come down, and console.log loop of 0. So because the I value is 0, it will print 0. Then the second time it goes up, it doesn't come up from here, so it will come up from here. I plus plus, actually means I equal to I plus 1. I equal to I plus 1 it means. So I equal to I plus 1 it will do. So means I will become 1 now. So 1 is less than equal to 10. Yes, 1 is less than equal to 10. It is true. 1 is less than equal to 10. So it will come down, and now i's value is 1. It will print. So similarly, this loop is again it will come from here, here. It will come like this till 10. So i's value will become 10. 10 is less than equal to 10. Yes, it is also true, because 10 is not less than, but 10 is equal to 10. So it will print 10 also. But the moment it will become 11, 11 is less than equal to 10. No, it is not true. And then what will happen? It will exit out of the loop. So this is how we exit out of the loop. So this is the for loop. So we have similarly other loop also, like a while loop, and while loop is actually much more easier than for loop to understand actually. But you will see people using for loop only more than the while loop, okay. So let me change this example, this same example I'm going to change in a while loop actually. So while loop, what I will do first, uh, we'll do this, let I equal to 0. Then the loop will be there, while will be there, and this thing like this, then I plus plus. So this is much more obvious. You see what is happening. Let I equal to 0 is I is 0 is there. Then So it will work like this only. First initialization is there, and always the programming language works from top to down. So first the initialization is there, I equal to 0, then it is checking that whether 0 is less than or equal to 10, and then I'm printing the loop number, then I'm doing I equal to I plus 1, I become 1, then again it will go anyways. From the next time it will not go here. Okay, so it will go every time, it will loop every time till it is 11. So now if I run this, it will also show me all these numbers. Okay, so all these numbers it will show. So that is there. Now I will tell about we saw something known as Json Placeholder. Okay, so there we saw everything is coming as an array of object, and you see this term a lot, so it's better to tell me something known as array of object and how to loop through it. So array of objects are means very important thing. One sec. Okay, one sec. Yeah, so let me also comment this out. So what are arrays of object? Okay, so array of objects are something like this, arrays of object. And why this is very important? Because most of the data, most of the internet works on this thing only, arrays of object. This is something which we get from the backend through some APIs. This kind of data we get from the backend, and we loop through it, and we show the data on the front end. Most of the time it will work like this. When we are going to do some project, and or I will tell you to do some projects through my YouTube channel. There are many projects are there, you see that. So what is the array of objects? See, an array is there, so it has got array, always got elements are there in array, items are there, you can say this items. The first item is this object, second item is this object, third item is the object, fourth, fifth, sixth. So this is all an object. So then object is definitely key value pair, and this is how everything works. In even Amazon, when you go to their main site, there might be an array of object which is coming from the backend. So they are known as backend APIs. From them there are 100% of chances, not 100%, actually 99% of chance it's an array of objects. Sometimes some other format also comes like objects or something, but mostly array of objects only come, especially in this list, especially in the Amazon main page. If you are going to go, you will get all the computers and all those things. So that is an array of objects only. Like suppose it will be an home page const, and it will have all these things. So how to loop through this thing, that is very important. So we can loop through this through two ways are there. We'll look into more ways later on, but the first way is the traditional for loop, which we have just learned. Okay, so I'll do for let I equal to 0, I is less than lang dot length I plus plus, and console.log lang I dot length. Okay, so this I have done. So what is this? So I equal to 0, so lang dot length, so it will get lang dot length. As we've seen, it gives us the length. So what is the length? 1 2 3 4 5 6. So length will be 6. So because this has got 6 items, so length will be 6 I plus plus. So the first iteration, so we have to see always like the first iteration I will be 0. So lang, okay, it is not length, it is name. So suppose I want to print the name. So lang of 0 is this thing, lang of 1 is this, lang of 2 3 4 5. So lang of 0 is this whole object dot the name. So dot name also take, dot year I can take. Okay, so if I run it, all the name will become Pascal, C, C++, Java, Kotlin, all these things will come. I can change this to year also, and the year will come. I can change it to ID also, and the ID can come. Okay, so let me make it to name itself. So this is one way. So there is another short form also. There is a loop known as how do we solve Solve means, Sunny, I'm not understanding what do you mean by how do we solve. What does that mean? How do we solve what? I'm not understanding actually. Okay. So we don't have much time. We have to cover an important topic in next 15-20 minutes, 20-25 minutes. Okay, so let us continue. So how do we solve? I didn't actually got how do we solve. Okay, example. So we are going to do for off loop. There is a loop known as for off loop. So for let l of deal with, I didn't understand. Again, I didn't understood how to deal with this kind of array of object. So I'm just looping through it and getting the name. So if you have some more doubts, you can contact me offline. I will try to solve if I have time. I'll try to solve, but we have to complete this soon. Okay, so let's complete it. Okay, so there is another thing known as for off loop, which is nothing but internal representation of this, and this is very easy to use. So for l of lang, I'll do l of lang and console.log l dot year, l dot year I'll do, l dot year I can do here. So see, l dot name is the same thing I'm doing here, but actually internally it runs like this all the year is coming from here. So l of year, so I can, instead of this object, so for of loop is a sort of shortcut of this for traditional for, this is known as traditional for loop. So l of lang means lang is the object, so l of lang, so it is known as for of loop. So l, so with this l means whatever the item is there I can access. So l was an object, or even I can take, it is not like l I can take anything here, itm I will take, then it will be itm dot year. So it will work like this. So this is a for of loop, is a shortcut. Okay, so now we are going to check in the next thing, which is like the conditionals. So we are going to look into conditionals. So conditionals are like if statement, all those things are known as conditionals. Okay, so there's a thing like const. So with conditional, I'm going to tell one more thing. Const, suppose I have a string 10. So see this thing, this is x, const x equal to string 10. This is not a normal, I'm not giving like x equal to 10. It is a string 10. That is very important to understand. If then x double equal to 10, then so if a statement is there, console dot log of x is 10. So if else statement is exactly similar what we have in other programming languages. Those who have learned C, C++, Java, it is like this. Those who have not learned it, means you have to give some more thing, you have to understand it a bit. And do please contact me if we have you, if you have not ever heard of if and else on all those things. Okay, so yeah, foreign is also there. Yeah, foreign is there, but instead of foreign there is another thing which is for each. Chetan is telling foreign is super easy. The best thing is your for each loop which is there in ES6. That is the thing we should use. And ES6 I'm going to tell on day 4, and you should use that only for each. That is much more easy. Okay, thanks Chetan. Okay, so that is there. So if x double equal to 10 is there, and console log. So if else statement is telling if else is console.log x is not 10, x is not 10. Okay, so actually in any other programming language, if you go, it is C, Java, x, this thing will be executed console.log. So if else statement, I think most of you know, if some condition is true, then that statement will be executed. If that condition is not true, then the other part of the statement will be executed. This is known as if else statement. We have if statement also, like if you don't have the else part, it is like this. Okay, but we can have the else part also. So like if else statement is very common in programming. So in most of the language, I am telling it will print x is not 10. Why? Because here I am taking a string 10. This is a string, and there I am comparing it with the, okay. So double equal to is used for comparison. It is not like single equal to. It is like double equal to. So like double equal to, we have is equal to. It means equal to. There we have greater than equal to, less than equal to, not equal to, like this. All these things we have not equal to, like this. Double equal to, have, it is used for comparison. It is not for use for assignment. So this is comparison and this is assignment. Okay, so this is comparison. Okay, so in this case what will happen, this will check like this. String 10 is double equal to number 10. In most programming language, it is false. It is not. Both of these things are not same. So the else part will be done. But let us see what will happen in JavaScript. JavaScript access 10 is executed. Why is access 10 is executed? Because internally JavaScript, what happens in when you use a double equal to, there is a conversation is there. So that conversation, what it does, it converts this string to a number, and then it's compare. So while comparing, it's converted. If you give a double equal to, and only in JavaScript, this is only JavaScript, it has got something known as triple equal to. Triple equal, this is only JavaScript thing, because with double equal to, it converts internally. The compiler converts a number to a string. It tried to convert, and if it is possible, it will do that. Okay, so if you give a triple equal to, what happens, it doesn't convert, and it is also known as strict comparison. So if I do a triple equal to, I will get x is not 10. X is not 10. Okay, x is not 10. I will get, okay, x is not 10. Okay, so like this it is there. So we have something like if else if statements also. Okay, if else if statements also. So what are they? Suppose const z equal to, suppose 69 is there. If z is greater than 100, then console.log z is greater than 100. So we have something known as else if also. So it happens like this. If some condition is there, it will be it is checking. So if 69 is greater than 100, no, it is not true. Then instead of else part, we have else if also. Else if, like now I will check z is greater than 80 and z is greater than 80, else if z is greater than 60, z is greater than 60, and else part is z is lesser than 60. So in this case, this will run. So it comes sequentially. If something is true, it will exit from it at that moment only. So if it is, I am giving this as 79, z is 79. So z is greater than 60, because it came here, it is this is false, but this is true. Okay, so it will be printed. Okay, so this is like this. Okay, so this is done. Okay, 24. Okay, so we have in conditional statements, we have something like or operator and AND operator. Okay, or and operator are there, and const x equal to, suppose 20 is there, const y equal, okay, one more thing. Wait a sec, I actually forgot. Let me give the attendance sheet. I forgot, because I think another 5-10 minutes only is remaining. JS beginners to advanced day 1 participation. Yeah. And as I told you, if you don't mark the attendance sheet, you don't get it. You don't get the participation certificate. Mark your attendance here. So attendance is every day, not just for day 1. Every day attendance is there. So hope you all got this. Mark your attendance here. Okay, so you all mark your attendance there. Okay, so what we were doing this or and operator. Okay, operator. So these things we can use it in the for loops and all. No, if loops we can use. Okay, so we have two variables like this. Next one. Okay, it will give me error actually. Let me do one thing. Again, I'll do another. Okay, so we have two variables x and y. One is 20, one is 30, and then if x equal to 20 or, so or operator is given by two pipes or, so it is 5-day. Monday to Friday. It's beginners to advanced, 5 days, same time 8:30 to 9:30. Okay, so or y double equal to 40, right? 5 days, where I'm writing 5 days, 5 days, yeah, 5 days course. Okay, so if x is double equal to 20 or y is double equal to 40, so or operator is given by two pipes. The or operator is given, or x double equal to 40, then I can do console.log any of the statement is true. I can do. So what is there? So in or, what happens? So x is 20, yeah, it is true, because x is actually 20, but y is not 20, y is not 40, y is 30, so this will be false. Then also I will get inside the if statement. So what happens in or, if you give or, any one of the statements should be true, it will come as I have written. So but the same thing if I do with and, both of the statements are true, so it means if I run it, it will not print it. And operator, what happens? And operator is given by two and, okay, so both of them should be true. This one should be also be true, this one should also be true. So if I make it as 30, both of the statements are true, then only it will pass. So this is the or operator. So this is done. Now we will learn about one last topic, which is a function. See, one thing I always tell about JavaScript is very easy to learn, but very difficult to master. It takes years. It will take around 4 years. But when you learn JavaScript, your main criteria should be to learn React, because React is the thing which will give you a job, nothing else. Don't go for anything. People ask me a lot of things. Should I do PHP? Should I do Python? Should I do Django and all? Django and all, anyways, a backend thing. There, most of the jobs are in front end side. Backend is already saturated. Most of the jobs are in front end. So why I are you going to do Django or Flask? What are you going to do with Django and Flask? You will not get a job with Django and Flask. Even freelancing jobs you will not get. So it's the age of React. So your main aim should be learning React. And for that, you should learn that much JavaScript which is required to learn React, not those kind of JavaScript. So JavaScript is very tough. There's something like prototype, there is something like this, in which I can take 5 days and just explain the this keyword. So don't go for those things. Okay, that is there. So do the things which I'm telling. Even in my main course, I take 1.5 month long course for HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and React.js. Even in that, I don't tell much about JavaScript. This much only, means maybe the JavaScript course there goes for 2 weeks, like not for 5 days, for 10 days. Here I have to do it a bit faster because we have got a lot to cover, and I cannot cover everything which I cover in my paid course. Okay, so I am covering everything, but it is like I have to do a play a 1 day here, and there I play a test match. Okay, so that is like that. Yes, then let me do last thing here, which are the functions. But I'm trying to teach everything to people, and you can become a really a full stack not full stack web app developer, front end developer, if you do this. After this JavaScript week, there is a React.js week, as most of you know. Okay, so functions, we are learning about functions. Functions are very important in JavaScript. JavaScript was originally a functional language. Now they have added classes, but classes are still not there, so function is very important. So there are 4 ways to do functions in JavaScript. uh, One is like 4 methods. So the first method is like, it is known as function declarations. Function declaration, in which, so there are 4 methods to declare function, what I'm telling. Okay, function declaration is the first method name, in which we have a keyword known as function. Suppose add nums and num1 comma num2 comma, and I can do the console.log. So functions are used to group a lot of things, a lot of code together. I'm only having one statement right now because this is, I'm just explaining it, but we can do a lot of things here. Okay, we can have a lot of things. Okay, lot of statements here. So this I'll do. So function, after that I have to do function call. Okay, add nums and do, and I'll have it 20 comma 30, and if I run it, so I'll get a 50. So this is the function declaration. So this thing, I can, instead of doing the console log here, I can do a return also here like this, and return. Whenever I do some return, what happens, I have to if I do like this, now nothing will come, because I'm not doing any console log only comes here. So when I do return something, I have to catch it, okay, somewhere. Okay, console.log of, I'll catch it with a console.log, sort of catching it like a batsman hits something and the ball, someone have to catch it. So I'm catching, when I'm returning something, I have to catch it. So this is the one way to catch it. Okay, and it will give me 50 now. So this is function declaration. Now there is something known as, in JavaScript only, there are known as function expressions. So what are functions expression? Function expression are only there in JavaScript, no other languages. And see, in function declaration, we see that we have a function keyword, but here what happened, we have we can assign a variable to this thing. Okay, so I'm going to change this thing only a function expression. So add nums, I will going to cut, and I'm going to do a const add nums equal to function, like this thing. I can do this, and it's a completely valid JavaScript thing. So it will again give me 50. So these are known as function expression. And in 2015, there was something invented as arrow functions. There is a bit of issue with JavaScript scoping and all, and there is something known as this keyword in JavaScript, which causes a lot of problem, which we are going to see briefly later on. So that this keyword causes a lot of problem, and because of that, the arrow functions were also invented. Arrow functions are a bit different, they're like this function expression only, but we don't even have to give this function keyword now. So what I can do, this function keyword I will remove, and I will give this equal to and greater than, and there should not be any gap like this, it should be like this. This is also known as a fat arrow function, like this, and this is the function, and I will clear it, I will run it. This is not function expression, this is known as arrow arrow functions. These are known as arrow functions, and it will also give the same thing. Okay, like the arrow functions are there, but in arrow functions we have it is not even, if there is only one statement, it is not even necessary to have this return and this bracket. Okay, so I can remove these two things. Okay, and I can bring it like this. Okay, so like this, num1 plus num2, and so it includes that your curly bracket and that return statement. Now I'll do this and the 50 will come here. Okay, so this is like this, and one more thing is there. Suppose I am going to have this always with 45. Okay, num2 is not there. I'm only passing one parameter, 20, maybe like this. Clear it, run it, and 50 will come. No. Why 50 is coming? 55 should come. I don't know. Sometimes this happens. Yeah, 65 is coming now. So yeah, so it is correct. So when this thing is there, I could remove this also. Num1 means I don't even want this course, and this is, if someone is seeing this for the first time, they will see this is not even a function. So this is how the arrow functions are there. They can be condensed to this much. So with this, actually we complete the all of JavaScript basic, and this is like a theory kind of a thing. And tomorrow what we are going to do, so it's today we are going to end. And one more thing is that I have a class to take my at 10 p.m. also. So anyways, today we have completed the thing which I wanted to complete, and I'm getting late for the 10 p.m. class because I have to start for that also, and that is there. So today we complete. Hope you all have filled the attendance. I can see around 10 people were there. So hope you all do the next 4 days so that you can get a nice participation certificate. And if you want to learn more from me, I generally take my personal classes, also group classes. Like one, I'm going to start at 10 p.m. I have a weekend class also. Rest of the time I'm busy with corporate clients. So but I will try to get some more classes maybe in the month of February. Those 1.5 month long courses are mostly in which the jobs are sort of you get a job assurance also. So I'll try my level, but if you do all the assignments, you'll get a job. Anyways, if you do learn React, just you don't need me to pitch for a job. Okay, so that is there. And with this, I will end today's session. I'll meet you all tomorrow. And tomorrow, we're going to do a very important topic known as JSDOM, where we are going to take all this knowledge of today and create a real JavaScript process. JavaScript give us access to something known as DOM, Document Object Model, and through which we can make JavaScript project, cool project, which we can see in some website, a real website, and all those things. Okay, so tomorrow we are going to do with something known as with VS Code, just like we do with CSS. We are going to do that. With this, I will end to this stream. Thank you all for attending, and keep attending all the last 4